As soon as I put away the things I had bought, Naran came to my room. I was originally near the end of the room, however I was pulled further back and led to the back of the room. I frowned at him, as if wondering what was going on, and he looked at me hesitantly before opening his mouth.
There's a certain law. A terrible law. One that dictates that once a woman gives birth to a child, she must marry a different man. It's one of the policies created when the rot broke out in Nasla, to keep us from losing offspring.
Then, if I were to give birth...
It doesn't apply to you.
Why?
There are exceptions. Only aristocrats are exempt from this law. That's one of the reasons why Bro insists on becoming an aristocrat. As an aristocrat, he wouldn't have to be separated from you.
I've never heard this before. Okay, so now that explains... I was like, what made him think about, like, this topic? And so it was the kid running by, like, Dad, like, I could never, like, make a woman happy with that law in place. So I understand. I understand your line of thinking now.
Bro kept a lid on it. He said that if it were known, panic would spread and more women would try to run away.
So the Roos women get married without knowing this?
They are told, I think.
What do you mean?
When they fall in love with someone other than an aristocrat, Lord Toya talks to them individually before they get married. Most of the people in the First District are aristocrats or related people, so I don't think anything has been said about it yet.
Okay, I can kind of see why Suren's like... The people that are going to get, you know, quote-unquote first dibs at the women are going to be aristocrats anyway, so no point in causing a panic when it's not going to apply to the majority of the women getting married. I can kind of see why. But from the women's point of view, it's like they're being deceived. Yeah, it sucks for anybody who falls in love with somebody who's not an aristocrat. I guess they are, if they are informed before they go through with the marriage, that's good, because then at least they know what they're getting into. But
I think so too.
Naran, why did you tell me about this? If I tell everyone, won't you be blamed for it severely?
If you think that's the right thing to do, then maybe... No. You should do it.
What?
That might cause a bit of trouble for Bro. But I think this law is wrong. I had intended to tell you about it someday. It's for reasons like this that I don't want to marry anyone. I could never stand being separated from the one I've fallen in love and married.
Understand. Yeah, because you're, like, definitely commoner. Okay, fair. There's a wrinkle. I mean, we already had plenty of wrinkles for this relationship as it was, and now there's, like, an additional wrinkle. It's just a very wrinkly relationship. Can't you change the law?
Lord Toya is trying to change things, but as long as there's a shortage of women, I don't think he'll get the Assembly's approval.
The power of the king can't do anything about it? A new word has been saved. It's been a while. Let's see, this one's a little more relevant compared to last time. What's the new one? These 12 sages of... Alright, 12 sages. The 12 ministers that make up the assembly. The various subordinates under them make up the members of the diet. Oh, they have a diet in this. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Close.
Sure, the power of the king in Nasla is strong. But in order to revise laws, the approval of at least 1/3 of the 12 sages is necessary.
That doesn't seem like a lot. You only need a 1/3 approval in order to revise a law? That's like... That's just... I mean, the majority is still against it. That's interesting.
As long as the threat of the rot remains. That's exceptionally difficult.
So Toya and Ruzi are developing a cure. Right, because that would alleviate a lot of concerns and make things easier. I just pray that the cure Toya speaks of gets completed soon.
You won't tell the other women.
Even if I did, it wouldn't change their situations, and rather it might cause some to do something reckless. If Toya really does talk to them about it, then the final decision is up to the woman. I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's just going to cause unnecessary panic for the majority, and Toya is already planning to talk to any woman who is going to be affected by it, and she can make the decision whether she goes through with it. So I think that is handled the best way it can be. That's why, though I'm reluctant, as Suren says, I'll stay silent for now.
I see.
How do you feel about the current situation?
Me?
If you feel that these laws are wrong, don't you think it's weird to force couples to split up?
I do. But it's not just me. Really, everyone knows it's not right. But if we speak up about it, that would be the end of Nasla, so we turn a blind eye to it. To tell you the truth, I don't think our country should be fighting each other right now.
What do you mean?
Maybe if we talked, we could find a different way to do things. Like how you and me get along so well. I'm an idiot, and I don't know anything about politics, so that's simply just what I think.
Hearing him say so, I remembered that Naran is a Nasla man, once more. I knew that, but at some point I'd forgotten about the border. The way we get along so well, huh? But that is true. If we don't make contact, we'll remain ignorant. We can't cherish something if we don't understand it. Maybe what needs to be defeated is not the enemy, but the weak mentality that doesn't try to discuss things, but clings to its own personal interests. What Naran called simple resonated with me because it is simple. I can feel the fog I've been feeling in my chest converging into words. It's probably the mindset of only caring for oneself that leads to war. If we had been able to think beyond the borders of our country, we could have discussed the situation with other people in the same predicament. However, the more people gather, the more difficult it becomes to implement such ideas, even among individuals, because everybody's got their own way of doing things. It is an instinct of living things to give priority to their own survival. That is certainly true. Far-off goals, an instinct. We unknowingly weigh these two and decide that it would be difficult to solve the problem, and give up before anyone can do anything. Sometimes the simple solutions are the best ones.
Yeah. I know it's weird for me to say this as a Nasla person, but Roos and Nasla should work together to face this problem.
I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just happy to be able to talk with you like this. If you were the king, the world would be a peaceful place.
I think I'd hate being the king. But if I had the power, I'd make a country where you could spend the rest of your life with the one you love.
I'd love to go to that wonderful world.
I'll take you there.
Huh?
No matter how many years it takes, I'll take you. It's our duty, as the ones who hurt you. The Roos women.
When did you start thinking like that?
It'd look good for me if I could say from the beginning, but to be honest, it's only when I started liking you, when you became important to me. I'm not capable like bro, so I can only work so hard on what's in front of me.
But isn't that actually the most difficult thing to do?
Difficult?
Because it's right in front of you, it's bothersome and scary, and you want to run away from it. It takes a lot of courage to face it. So I think you're quite capable. There's a beautiful potential in you that's unique to you. Perhaps that was exactly what Suren wanted Naran to notice. With that thought, I looked beyond the bewildered Naran to the future. Selfish love. It's quite windy today. The wind that blew through the area scattered the fallen leaves I had collected, and I let out a sigh. Even though it was still the season of fresh greenery, the leaves were falling down in many places, agitated by the strong winds. I patiently recollected them and wiped the sweat from my forehead. Well, I guess that's about it. That's all for now. I have to go to the residence this afternoon. After talking with Naran about the women's issues, I began to think more about what I could do to help them than I had before. Thanks to this, I feel that my heart, which was about to fail, has become a little stronger. First of all, how to get both sides to sit down and have a discussion. Toya has been enthusiastic about reconciliation from the start, which is good, but finding a cure is still essential in order to get consent from 1/3 of the representatives. But if we just wait for this to happen, we may never be able to reach a reconciliation. So I wonder if I can persuade them from a different direction. I wonder if there are any representatives with deep ties to the military. If there are, then Suren's got the power to help. But will that stubborn guy do anything to help the Roos women? In that case, maybe betting on finding a cure would be faster. Roos has been far less afflicted than Nasla. If there's a reason for this, there may be a clue to the solution in the information obtained from the Roos women. Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering why that is. I wonder if I should ask everyone in the residence to cooperate with Toya. Sure, there is not much I can do right now, but just believing that I can get to the future I want is enough to keep me on my feet. Making progress may seem easy, but I think it's actually the hardest thing to do. So I was grateful in every way to Naran for giving me that strength. Alright, having decided that, then even this afternoon. It was then that I decided on my next move with hope in my heart.
Missus!
What's wrong, Naran? You're in such a hurry. Naran came running up to me, clearly in a hurry. He was breathing heavily, so he might have been rushing back from somewhere. As I tilted my head and waited for Naran to catch his breath, I heard hectic footsteps behind him.
Is this the military commander Lord Suren's wife, Mrs. Naala?
Yes, but who are you? Two unfamiliar faces stood in a line, pushing Naran away. When I responded with caution, the officials took a bow and dropped to one knee. It seems that the wife of the highest rank in the military is a kind of superior to them.
I'm afraid that due to an urgent situation, we would like to ask you to come to the residence. Have you gotten Lord Suren's permission?
The official's words were interrupted by Naran. From the looks of it, this urgent situation is probably an event that is not good for me. Is it Shalu related? I observed the official's movements with a bad feeling swelling in my chest.
The 12 sages have the right to issue any and all political demands.
This is from the sages, eh?
But if Lord Suren refuses, representatives can't touch military personnel. Yes, but he hasn't refused yet. Which is why I'm telling you to wait until that decision is made. Don't you think it rude to come while Lord Suren is away? Not even your king, Lord Toya, has made a decision yet. We are currently hoping for an audience with Lord Toya. And we are only here to make a request. What right do you, a mere servant, have to prevent us from doing so?
I see. The officials who are coming now are neither on Toya or Suren's side, but probably the minions of one of the 12 representatives. And that representative wants to do something about me, or the women at the residence, before Toya or Suren can stop him. He said it was urgent, so something must have happened to the women. Or there must have been a change in their situation.
If you don't come, a false assumption might determine the circumstances of the Roos women.
It may be premature to move now. However, if they have their way with the Roos women without me, the future may be further off than I'd hoped.
I don't even get a choice. Dang it.
I understand. I'll go with you.
Mrs.?
However, tell me what happened before that.
That's currently classified information, so I can't talk about it here.
Do they need to pull me away? Or maybe... I can think of one thing, which I would rather not think about. Is this about the trio rule?
I cannot say.
The moment I asked, the official's eyebrows were raised slightly. This was probably an expression of his inner desire not to tell me. Seeing this, I was convinced that my prediction was on the mark. Something's happened to Shalu or Solana.
As I said, I cannot say.
As I said, I cannot say. Yeah? The story I had heard from Solana the other day was passing through my mind. Solana had told me that Shalu had been acting strangely at that time. Yeah, we avoided the one Shalu death flag earlier, so she had to do something else. It can't be, but... Cold sweat trickled down my spine. Suppressing the urge to run right away, I turned to the official. If we take aggressive action here, it may make things worse. Yeah, I mean, they can't begrudge me taking a servant with me for protection, right? Nice. Then I'll take Naran with me. That's fine, isn't it?
Yes, that's fine. So let's hurry. You won't even let the military commander's wife prepare to go out? Understood. Then we shall be waiting in front of the gate.
In the official's eyes, I could see him thinking, you goddamn kid. Nah, Naran wasn't born yesterday, alright? He's being very smart about this, trying to buy her some time, probably trying to get her some info before she just goes out there. Naran, help me out. As soon as they disappeared from the courtyard, Naran approached and spoke in my ear.
It looks like Shalu has gone missing.
Even though I'd anticipated it, I was still shocked in the moment I heard it. At the same time, I felt a heavy, I knew it feeling in my chest. Shalu. Of course, the biggest concern is for my best friend's safety. But now I have to consider the whole thing, the impact on the other women, rather than my personal feelings. I groan as if squeezing it through the gaps between my gritted teeth. My bad feeling ended up being right.
Mrs., do you know something?
No, I don't know anything. Just that I was able to guess why they called for me. Shalu tried to escape before. If she's gone missing, it's only natural that people will think, again? Was she able to escape successfully? But if she did, how on earth did she slip past that security?
Where has Shalu gone?
I hope she's not involved in any strange incidents.
For now, you shouldn't say anything.
Why?
They probably want to get a statement from you, who got married in her place. They want you to say, I had to pay for her resistance, or something like that. They're plotting to create a situation that's even beyond the power of the king.
In other words, they want to create a reason that all the other representatives will have to agree to. Is that right?
I think that's correct. They'd like to take this opportunity to repeal the selection law that Lord Toya established.
Right, that makes sense. Because if he only needed about a third to put in that law, then the majority would still be against it. So if they can just get a little bit more of a majority, they could repeal that. Ooh, okay.
What are you going to do? Shall we stall for time until Bro returns?
No, I'm going. If they're able to manipulate this fluke opportunity like this, they may come at Toya and Suren in a different way in the future. If that happens, things could get even more messy. The later it happens, the more frustration there will be when it erupts.
That's true. But even if you deny that she's escaped, the others... We can't fool the guards' eyes. Shalu has been acting weird. There have even been rumors about her.
Did you know of these rumors?
I'm sorry. I don't know why, but bro told me to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So that's why when Naran spotted her this time, he was like, let's go get some expensive vegetables. So he must have missed her in Suren's route, and that's why we got away from him. Suren did? When was that?
Well, I believe it was a few days after he fell off that cliff.
So he somehow found out that she was responsible for that. Shalu started acting weird, and Suren was seriously injured at around the same time. I had an even worse feeling about all of this. Pressing on my aching stomach, I prayed to the spirits that I may be wrong. But it seems like the more you wish something to be wrong, the more true it is. Anyway, I'd better go. If I keep quiet, it'll look even more suspicious.
Yeah. If you don't intend to keep quiet, then I have an idea for you.
An idea?
I call it...
the Naran special. What do you call it? Naran! You can't just leave it like that. You hid it, didn't you?
How disrespectful. Even if you're the military commander's wife, I won't tolerate such rude remarks.
In accordance with Naran's plan, named Operation Suspect Before Suspected. It was you, wasn't it? Don't you put this on me. That's great. Go on the offensive. The best defense is a good offense. I spoke out against a representative who seemed to be of the opposition party. Inwardly, my heart was about to dance out of my mouth, but I smiled with the mask of composure I had put on. The assembled women watched on with bated breath. If you naturally think of escape, then the opposite also applies. Shalu's tried to escape before, so if you can't find her, that's the easiest thing to point to. In fact, you want to repeal the law by pretending that she's escaped, don't you?
We'd never do such a cowardly thing!
Ooh, I like this sprite of Naala. She looks so mischievous. Isn't bringing people here against their will cowardly in the first place? I knew they wanted to get statements from others and then close in on me, but I won't let them do that. When I took the opportunity to confront him, his face turned red with indignation. Not only has a girl made fun of him, but he is about to have his plans crushed, a situation that would be unforgivable for any self-respecting person.
If you insult us any further, you will be taken to the proper place.
The proper place? I didn't mean to insult you. I was just stating a possibility, just like you.
That's why it's an insult!
Toya! It's been ages.
If that's the case, then your words, deciding that it's an escape from the beginning, are also an affront. His Majesty! I thought you were on patrol at the North Sea with the military commander. We heard that some idiots were getting out of line, so we hurried back.
Both of you. As soon as they entered, both Toya and Suren glared at the opposition representative. Sweat beads formed on the representative's forehead as he was probably upset by their unexpectedly early return.
You were in quite a hurry to deal with this while I was away. You must really be concerned for the women. And what the hell are you doing dragging my wife into this? I merely requested her to accompany me, as is my right as a representative.
As the important representative's behavior became suspicious, a man who seemed to be his age shouted loudly.
I beg your pardon, sir, but doesn't the military commander find it odd as well? If it's not an escape, then what is it? No one said it wasn't an escape. Suren. Then the military commander also believes this to be an escape.
Suren was originally opposed to the selection law, so there's a good chance that he would take a position opposite to Toya here. Rather, from Suren's perspective, he has no obligation to protect the other women. Just as my shoulders went limp, fearing another bad feeling of mine coming true. For a moment, his eyes met mine. It is rare for Suren to look away from the person he is confronting in a situation like this. When I couldn't gauge what that meant, Suren tilted his head, looking annoyed, and said,
"It's a pain in the ass, but I'm sure it's a problem the military has to take care of." "What?" "What I'm saying is, we will search for the missing woman here, considering the possibility that she has been involved in some kind of crime. It'll be decided afterwards if this was an escape."
Are you insane, Commander? No matter how you look at it, this is clearly an escape.
Don't make me repeat myself. I'm a busy man.
The representative, who had been left hanging by a thread, bit his lip in frustration and walked out of the room. The women, on the other hand, all looked uniformly astonished. I must have had the same look on my face.
I didn't think you would agree with me. In return, you send out your subordinates. My men are too forceful to get info from each of the women. I'll make the arrangement.
Toya responded quickly and began to lead the women away, instructing his subordinates to do the same. It seems that he's going to send them back to their rooms to talk to them separately. Why did Suren... Still unable to recover from my surprise, I finally came to my senses when the buzzing had died down. But in a different sense, I was strangely nervous. I noticed that it was just Suren, myself, and Naran in the room.
That's my wife. That was a pretty good dare.
Why'd you cover for me? You're against the selection law, aren't you? You could have taken advantage of the situation and locked me up in your mansion.
Sure. As a husband, I want to keep my wife out of troublesome situations. But as a warrior, I thought I should protect my allies' feelings. That's all there is to it.
Oh, Suren, you still can't be honest. Suren!
But for the time being, you should lay low in the mansion until things calm down. You never know when some idiot might appear who will try to take advantage of this turmoil.
I understand.
See you tonight.
He turns around, not showing the slightest sign of concern for the hard work that is about to begin. Just before his big back disappears behind the door... Suren!
Yeah.
I closed the distance between us and looked up into the twin purple eyes as if to glare at them. That injury was really someone else's fault, wasn't it? And you knew about it, didn't you? Why didn't you say so? You could have said that you got hurt because of my best friend.
I don't really remember that far back.
Is that kindness?
I just said, I don't know. Is that all?
Thank you. I couldn't ask for a more encouraging ally than you. Suren glanced at me for a moment, then the corners of his mouth lifted as he laughed. His lips fall and his low voice echoes in my ear.
Your stupid honesty and mine are a good match.
Huh? What on earth did he mean by that? I mean, he's right. That is like the best part about you, the two of you, is your stupid honesty. Or how you cannot be honest. When I was about to ask him back, he waved his hand and walked out of the room.
He really does love you.
He does. He does. It's kind of painful, actually. It's painful watching it. Just like, This game's giving me all kinds of complicated feelings. Sheesh. Huh? No, that now was... What was that? Maybe it looked like he was whispering love to me because he was leaning in close. Trying to deny it, I tilt my head back. What did Suren want to say?
Bro is so cool. In comparison, I wasn't able to do anything at all.
Are you kidding? You gave me the operation, what was it? Suspect before suspicion or something like that. Ooh. I mean, you were there, but I like this one more. She has to keep, like, reiterating to him, like, your doubts, the doubts you're having and you're expressing are not accurate. Let me dismantle that. Objection. That's not true. Nice. That's not true. If not for your idea, we wouldn't have been able to stall for time and things might have gotten worse. And it was reassuring to have you there. Nice. I like that she ended up doing both, so that's great.
But that's the only thing I was able to do!
His scream, covering the end of my words, echoes through the room. Naran, alarmed by the sound of his own voice, looked down with a tight brow.
I'm sorry. You two look like a really good couple. What am I saying? I mean, of course. But then why...
Naran? I couldn't keep quiet watching his trembling shoulders, so I reached out to him. Before I could touch him, Naran withdrew and shook his head.
I'm really sorry. I'm gonna go cool off!
Naran! My hand that tried to hold him back just stroked his clothes and froze in midair. I consciously released the strength in my arms and clasped my palms together at my chest. I'm sorry too. I want him at my side, even though that can't be. I'm bound by this selfish love. Too many things are happening at once for my mind to process. As I cowered in fatigue, I saw the wall the three of us had been backed up against when we were taken away. At that time, I couldn't imagine that I would change my mind like this. Where did you go, Shalu? I murmured as I held my knees. For all my premonitions, there's no way I could have predicted the answer to that question.